Hello students, have you ever wondered how the electricity flows? How is it happening? When we put on the switch, the light bulb glows. So come on, let us discuss some basic of electricity. Have you observed water current in the rivers? Yes, it is the similar way how electric current flows in the conductor. Electric current is nothing but a flow of electrons. So electric current is expressed as it is a amount of charge flowing through a particular area in a unit time. Earlier we said how the bulb glows when we turn on a switch. We must be having something to control the flow of current. That is nothing but a switch. It is a conducting path for bulb to glow. In electricity, a continuous and closed path of an electric current will be an electric circuit. Now look at this simple electrical circuit. Here we have a continuous closed path from the battery across the bulb to another terminal of the battery. So we termed it as a circuit. You might have been watching these minus signs. These have been traveling in anti-clockwise direction. Just observe the terminals of the battery. This side of the battery is positive, and this side of the battery is negative. And these icons are moving from the negative side of the battery to the positive side of the battery through the bulb. This is the negative side of the battery. These icons are moving across the bulb to the positive side of the battery. So these negative icons are nothing but the electrons. These are the flow of electrons which travels from the negative side of the battery to the positive side of the battery. Not only the battery but any power. The blue arrow mark is showing the flow of electrons. Then what is this current which is showing in the opposite direction of the flow of electrons? Yes, it is nothing but a conventional current, commonly called as current. You have been heard everyone saying that current is flowing from positive to negative. Yes, the current will be flowing from the positive direction to the negative direction. But the flow of electrons will be always opposite to the flow of the conventional current. Why this happens means current was found earlier than the discovery of these electrons. I said you, flow of electron is the electric current. Just look at this diagram. It is a conductor. The blue area is conductor. Any metallic wire, copper, anything. If a charge Q flows across any cross section of a conductor in time t, then the current I through the cross section area. What does this mean? These are the charge Q's which are flowing through the cross section of this conductor. This white dotted oval is nothing but a cross section of that conductor. In this particular time, it might be a millisecond or a microsecond, these charges are passing through it. These are the charge Q. Then at this particular time through this cross section, the current is defined as I is equal to Q over T. That is, current is equal to charge divided by time. So, and that electric charge is measured in coulomb. 1 coulomb will be always equal to 6 into 10 to the power of 18 electrons. In 1 coulomb there will be 6 into 10 to the power of 18. These much of electrons will be there in 1 coulomb. A single electron consists of a negative charge of 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. Single electron will be having the negative charge. You have to remember this. This is a negative charge of 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. That is minus 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. A single electron will be having this charge. So we can measure the current using the instrument called ammeter. How we should measure is, the ammeter should be always connected in series in a circuit to measure the current. The ammeter looks like this. I said ammeter must be connected in series in a circuit. I'll show you. Many people do this wrong. They don't measure the current in a right way. So I'll show you. Just look at this. This is the ammeter. This is the battery, and this is the bulb. What they have did is, a positive terminal of battery is connected to the positive terminal of the bulb, and the negative terminal of the bulb is connected to positive terminal of the ammeter, and the negative terminal of the ammeter is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. So this is the right way in which we should measure the current. Then only you can measure the correct current. Why means, the current will be flowing through this conductor, and I am showing to the red marker. The current will be flowing in this way, and the current must flow through the ammeter to measure it, right? So this is the right way how to measure the current. Now let us solve an example. It's from the textbook. I recommend you to open the textbook and go through whatever I teach. Now open the textbook and look out this example 12.1. A current of 0.5 ampere is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb for 10 minutes. Find the amount of electric charge that flows throughout the circuit. What they are telling is, a current of 0.5 amperes is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb. That is, an electric bulb is drawing 0.5 amperes of current for 10 minutes. Okay. Find the amount of electric charge that flows through the circuit. I showed you earlier, and remember, whatever formula has been displayed on the screen, you must write it down. I showed you I is equal to Q divided by T, that is, current is equal to charge over time. And that formula will be used to solve this problem. Let us look at this solution. We must write the given things. Whatever have been given, we must write it clearly. What is given is I is equal to 0.5 ampere. And what the time is given is 10 minutes. 10 minutes, okay. 10 minutes is nothing but 1 minute. One minute is nothing but 60 seconds. 60 seconds what will be the 10 minutes then? If you multiply it by 10, it will be 10 minutes and we will get 600 seconds. Multiply by 10, and here also you multiply by 10, then it will be equal to 600 seconds, because seconds is a SI unit of time. That's why we are converting minutes into seconds. We know that I is equal to Q divided by T. Q is the charge, T is the time taken. So what we have to find is the amount of electric charge, that is this one, this Q we have to find. So what will be our formula? Q will be equal to I, we have to alter this formula. Q will be equal to I, what is divided by T will go to the left hand side and will get multiplied to the current. So this will be our required formula. So that is Q is equal to I into T. So we have to substitute whatever have been given. Q will be equal to 0.5A, that is ampere. Current will be 0.5 ampere and time will be 600 seconds. So by solving this, we will get 300 coulomb. At the end we have to write the amount of electric charge that flows through the circuit will be 300 coulomb. Charge is measured in coulomb. They ask the charge, we are telling them in coulomb. Let us now discuss about the electric potential and the potential difference. We have gone through the current, how the current flows. The current will be flowing from positive to negative, that will be a conventional current, and the electrons will be flowing from negative to positive because they are opposite to each other. And the current is measured in amperes, the charge are measured in coulombs. We have gone through it. Let us see what is electric potential. Initial, I told you example that how the water flows. Okay, the water will be flowing from the higher potential to the lower potential. Is it right? Always the water flows from higher altitude to the lower altitude. It will not go lower from higher. Okay, so in a similar way, electrons will also flow from higher potential to the lower potential. Just look at this figure. It is higher potential. In the upper tank we have some water, in the lower tank we have turn on the tap over here, so the water will start automatically to flow from the higher altitude to the lower altitude. In the similar way, we have to think this water as an electron or a charge which will be flowing from higher potential to the lower potential. So we define electric potential difference between 2 points in an electric circuit carrying some current. How we define this potential difference is the electric potential between 2 points in an electric circuit. In an electric circuit there will be 2 points, positive to negative. That will be carrying some current, that electricity from positive side to the negative side. Let me show you. This is the basic circuit. Here will be some load. Negative. The current will flow from this side to this side. this will be current. What are they defining is electric potential difference between 2 points. These are the 2 points, plus and minus, in an electric circuit. This is the electric circuit carrying some current. I is the current which is carrying. It is the work done to move unit charge from one point to the other. How they define the electric potential as, it will carrying some current means there will be some charges. The potential difference is defined as it's the work done to carry this charges from this point to this point, negative point. This is the work done to carry these charges. Charges means nothing but the current. So potential difference between 2 points will be equal to, it is a ratio. Ratio means one divided by the other. Ratio of work done to the charge. Work done to move unit charge from one point to another. So it can be written as V. V is nothing but the potential difference, which is equal to W, work done, divided by the charge Q. That is V is equal to W by Q. It is an important formula to find out the potential difference. You have to write down all those things. Now the SI unit of potential difference is volt. V. The potential difference is always measured in volt. The current is measured in ampere and the charge is measured in coulomb. Similar way, the potential difference is measured in volt. It is named after Alessandro Volta, who found the potential difference. So we learned that potential difference is a so what is 1 volt? 1 volt is the potential difference between 2 points in a circuit when 1 joule of work is done in moving a charge of 1 coulomb from one point to another. So we said that 1 volt is a potential difference which is measured as a work done to move the charge from one point to another. Similarly, 1 joule of work is done to move 1 coulomb from one point to another. That will be 1 volt. Therefore, we can write it as 1 volt is equal to 1 joule divided by 1 coulomb. You might be thinking, what is 1 joule? Joule is nothing but a SI unit of work. As we measured current as ampere, potential difference as volt, similarly we measure work as joule. It is work done, that is 1 joule to move a charge of 1 coulomb, that is a charge. It is 1 volt is equal to 1 J over C, that is joule over coulomb. If we take this denominator part to the numerator, we should write it as raised to minus 1, C raised to minus 1, that is joule into C raised to minus 1. As we measured current using ammeter, we measured the volt using voltmeter. Let us solve an example. It's a 12.2. How much work is done in moving a charge of 2 coulomb across 2 points having a potential difference 12 volt? They are asking that how much work is done, that is W we must find. In moving a charge of 2 coulomb, they are given a charge of 2 coulomb across 2 points having the potential difference 12 volt. 12 volt, it is a volt given and charge is given as 2 coulomb. and we must find the work done. We know that 1 volt or volt is equal to work done divided by charge. That is Q is given as, that is charge Q is given as 2 coulomb and potential difference V is given as 12 volt. We have the formula V is equal to work done over charge Q. 12 is equal to, volt is given as 12 volt is equal to W, we must find it, it is a work done, we must find it, over, the charge I was given is a 2 volt, Q is equal to 2 coulomb. Then V is equal to W over Q. What we have to find is the work done, that is W. Then W will equal to V, this, the Q from the denominator side, when we take it over left hand side, it will get multiplied to Q, that is work is equal to volt multiplied by charge. So W will be equal to 12 into this 2 will get over to the left hand side and multiply to 12, then 12 into 2 will be equal to 24. And work, they are asking us work means we must keep it in joules, that is 24 joules. How much work is done in moving a charge? It is 24 joules of work is done in moving a charge of 2 coulomb across 2 points having potential difference of 12 volt. Now the third concept is circuit diagram. In your textbooks, circuit diagrams have been given. We cannot draw the whole resistor or a switch or a button or a transistor, anything it may be. We cannot draw it in 3D form in a textbook. So these are the symbols we must draw while drawing a circuit, so it will be easy and convenient for us. If I want to draw a circuit, what I'll do is I'll just take this. If I want to add some voltage, I will take this symbol. If I want to add resistor, I will just take this symbol. And if I want to add any kind of emitter, then I will add this as a symbol. And this will be a simple circuit. So these symbols are very important. An electric cell will be in the form of this. A battery of combination cell. If we have one or more battery, in the torch you have been observed, we will put 3 cells that will be in series. That can be drawn as this. Plug key or switch open. Open switch will be like this and closed will be like this. We may have another form as these will be 2 contact points. Similarly, this will be open switch and this will be closed switch. A wire joint. This will be a wire joint. Wire crossing without joining. Sometimes wire you have to join the wire, like you observe this. These are the wire. You have to connect this point to this point, but you don't want to connect with this resistor. So what you have to do is You just take a wire, jump it from here, and then connect to this side. This is why this symbol has been used. Electric bulb will be shown as this. The resistor will be always a simple heartbeat. This will be a resistor. This is a variable resistor. This is a kind of resistor where the value of resistors can be changed according to our convenience. This is emitter, this is an emitter, and this is an voltmeter. The most important thing in a physics part of science is an Ohm's law. Let us see what is this. Suppose this man with a blue shirt is a volt, and this man with a yellow shirt is a current, and this man with the green shirt is a resistance. For the blue shirt man, the volt will be always pressuring the current to flow. He is forcing this ampere to go through this tube, but what this resistance is doing is he is resisting that current not to flow. So Ohm's law is the relation between the potential difference applied to the ends of the conductor. It is that man who was pushing the ampere was a volt. That is the potential difference. And current flowing through the conductor, that man who was passing that tube was an ampere, that is current. It is a relation between the volt, whatever the pressure applied, and the current whoever want to pass through that conductor. This law was expressed by George Simon Ohm in 1826. What is the statement of Ohm's law? If the physical state of a conductor, temperature and mechanical strain etc. remains unchanged. If a physical state of a conductor, that is, if we have a copper wire, the temperature and the mechanical strain on that copper wire must not change, then the current flowing through the conductor will be always directly proportional to the difference across the two ends of the conductor. We can write it as the voltage, that is potential difference, will be directly proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. We must make sure that the temperature and the mechanical strain of that conductor should be constant. It must not vary. If you are working in 27 degrees Celsius, that must be throughout the experiment, it must be constant. Then this Ohm's law, that is voltage is directly proportional to current, works correctly. So what I was discussing is voltage is directly proportional to current. V is equal to, if we take this proportionality constant as R, then the equation will become V is equal to I multiplied by R, where constant of proportionality R is called electrical resistance or simply resistance of the conductor. This R is nothing but the resistance of the conductor. It will not allow the current to flow fastly, or it will resist the current not to flow as usual. From Ohm's law, thus electric resistance is the ratio. If we have discussed voltage is directly proportional to I, now let us discuss the equation in R, that is resistance. So this equation V is equal to IR, we can write it as V is equal to IR. We can write it as R is equal to V over I. Thus the electric resistance is the ratio. Ratio means a numerator will be there, a denominator will be there. R is the ratio of V and I, means we must make clear that it is a fraction. Thus electric, the value of resistance depends upon the nature, dimension and physical dimension of the conductor. So when we draw voltage and current in a graph, suppose we have 1 kilo ohm of resistors in a circuit. We are passing 1 volt through it. The current will be 1 ampere. They have been given as milliampere. So if you are passing 1 volt, it will be 1 milliampere. If we are passing 2 volt, it will be 2 milliampere. Just look at this. If we are passing 3, then it will be 3 milliampere for 3 volt. So for every volt, the current is proportionally increasing. Just look at this diagram. It is increasing proportionally. So when we increase the resistor, it will limit the current. If we are using 2.2k resistor, the current will be resisted. When we were using 1 kilo ohm, the current was flowing 1 milliamp. When we are using higher resistor, the current is becoming less. So this is a graph of voltage and current.